quite broad topic. But I think that instead of introducing Ludmila, I think that the best thing is that you do it yourself and you tell us a little bit of what we're going to do today.
Thank you, John. Good morning to Europe and good afternoon to China. My name is Ludmila Hyklova, and currently I work as a legal expert, legal advisor in the EU SME Center. Before joining the center, I spent several years in China as legal counsel for one of large European companies. The topic of today is how to find a right Chinese partner, or better, how to avoid the wrong one. We have seen this topic as very natural and very obvious one for our first webinar, because weekly we receive many inquiries about companies from companies who were cheated or deceived, or who are interested to learn how to check that the Chinese partner they are going to conclude a contract is the correct one. You have probably heard a lot about relationship in China, about Guangxi, which is all very valid, but still it doesn't. It's not necessary to go beyond standards or obvious and usual business standards on checking on the business partner. What we would like to talk today is to introduce you 5 basic steps and few tools of preliminary due diligence. We will mention the importance of the business license, company shop. We will list few special licenses and permits, and we will introduce few documents which will help you to evaluate the financial status of your business partner, and mention a few tips on the company operations. Right now, before we move forward, we would like to know something about your background, because it will help us to focus better our presentation on your needs. So if I may ask John now, if you can start the first poll. And the first poll is the question whether you are going to be importer to China, exporter from China, whether you are in the process of establishing or you have already invested. So if you can please vote.
So thank you very much. We're going to give some more seconds for you to vote. We've seen that votes are coming quite quickly, so just a couple more of seconds. Okay, we're going then to close the voting now. We have already a vast majority of you already here, so just let me close it and show the results to you. There you are, Ludmila.
Thank you, John. From the results, we can see that more than half of you are importers to China, which we have somehow anticipated because it corresponds to the inquiries we receive. Then second largest group are in the process of the establishing of the company, followed by exporters from China, and some of you have already invested in China. Thanks a lot. And now the second very quick question. where have you found your partner, or for those who are under the still the plans how to approach the China, where would you search for a Chinese partner? And the options are their websites, recommendation by another business star partner, or through the intermediaries.
Again, thank you for contributing. Thank you for voting. Is it interesting that we have so consistent people trying to export to China with our experience here? Quite happy that we brought in this particular subject. Okay, so we're going to close now the poll and show the results, and then we can share them with you all. There you go.
Thank you. So we can see that most of you, almost 70% of you, used quite a safe way how to find a Chinese partner through the either recommendation by another business partner or through the intermediaries. Some of you plan or you have met your partner at the fair. All right, thank you very much. And now we will move directly to the presentation. At the beginning, I would like to stress that the majority of the Chinese partners, Chinese companies, are honest and willing to develop sustainable business. They are interested in cooperation, and I mean, unfortunately, there are cases which are, I mean, not very encouraging, and we would like to prevent that. You are another such case, but please don't be discouraged from doing business in China, because it's a great market with great potential, and I mean, using several tools and I mean, usual business thinking, you can avoid unnecessary surprises. So, who can be your partner? I have put several examples. It can be importer of your cosmetic products, distributor of your wine, supplier for those who are exporting from China of chemical substances. It can be a landlord of your potential rep office, or partner for your future joint venture when you decide manufacturing some machine components, or simply service provider like tax advisors or IT services. Now, what is available? There are official documents, legal documents, and there are as well documents produced by which can be produced, supplied by the company itself, and you can verify them outside later on. Or we will mention as well a few useful tips. The most important one, and we will spend first half of the webinar on it, is the business license. You can learn a lot of useful information from the license, and after verifying them, you will have quite a good picture how the company looks like, at least from the legal side. Here is the first picture is an example of the business license, the big business license, which usually is put somewhere on the wall in the company. So you may, when you visit your offices of your partner, you may have a look at it, if there is something or not. Of course, if you can speak Chinese, or if you have a interpreter with you, they can help you with translation. This one is as well business license, but it is called small business license, and it is probably the document which will be scanned and sent to you if you asked for it. Of course, I assume that majority of you probably cannot speak Chinese, so we have prepared translation of some business license. Of course, that the information are not real one. We have put imaginary company and address. So what you can learn from this important paper? First, I have to say that the business license is certificate of incorporation, and it is basic company document. If in China company does not have business license, it does not exist. First, information on the business license would be the name. Why name is important? Of course, it will not be in English, it will be in Chinese, and you have to check whether and compare whether the name in Chinese is the same in every single character as the name of the company you negotiate with. We have cases that company was European company was negotiating with the Chinese company A, but later on contract was concluded with company B, which is of course what you probably do not want, especially when you then send money to account of different company. The name has to be same not only on the business license and does not need to correspond only to the name of your partner on the business card, but as well on the other documents and the certificates, special permits, bank account, creditworthiness letter, for example. Address, as stated on the license and other relevant documents, should correspond to the real place of the business. So again, same as for the name, check this one, and it is important as well when you plan to visit your partner in person to check. Another important information is a legal representative, especially name of the legal representative. Please make sure to check and ask who is the person authorized to represent the company. It should be this one, the legal representative. It's a company who is authorized, it's a person who is authorized to act on behalf of the company, sign contracts. Two numbers below are registered capital and the paid capital. Registered capital is a limit of the liability of the shareholder, and it as well indicates the size of the company or size of the business of the company. If you are going to, for example, establish joint venture for manufacturing components for the aircraft, and a company has registered capital of 100,000 RMB, probably something is wrong. Paid up capital is what was already contributed. Of course, it does not mean that the money are still at the account or within the company, but we will cover that later on when we will talk about the financial status of the company. I will skip the type of registration because it's not so much important, and I will spend some time on the scope, on the business scope. Business scope is the description of approved business activities, and it is important for you to check whether the activities you are going to cooperate with or you need the company provides to you are covered, are included in the scope of business, and or at least with a little margin for interpretation can be defined as one falling within the description. Just one simple example, if you want to distribute your olive oil and you are negotiating with the consulting company, that probably the cooperation will not go well, and you will finish with losing of your goods. Shareholder, it depends how relationship with the company, how your relationship with the company are going. If you have already good guarantee, then you may ask the same information on the shareholder of your company as you are asking for your partner, at least the business license and creditworthiness letter. Term of business, another important information. If you are going to conclude contract for 5 years, but term of business, business license of your partner is going to expire next year, which will be indicated in the business license, then you might probably ask a few questions. Date of establishment. Again, your partner claims that it has China-wide distribution network. But his company was established in May 2012. So probably these two information are not consistent each other. One last of the information is the annual inspection. Every and each company registered in China has to pass annual inspection. It means that AIC, which stands for Administration for Industry and Commerce, is checking all important documents of the company, business license, special permits, and when the AIC finds that everything is okay, it affixes the company job. It affixes the AIC job. Usually, the annual inspection, annual check for the previous year takes place in between March and July of the next year. So, for example, now end of the July should be finished the annual check for the year 2011. What is important as well to know where your company is registered. This is the last information called as the register, and so if the address and register in Kwantung is in Kwantung, you will go to that place to check the business license there. Now, you have asked your partner for the business license, and you would like to verify if the informations are correct or not, or if the business license is, let's say, true one. You can check all the informations I have mentioned through the websites, or you can ask local Chinese law company to visit in person a local branch of the AIC. This one are the websites of the State Administration for Industry and Commerce. In order you can check information on your Chinese partner, you would need to first know, of course in Chinese, you would need to know either full name of the company, or name of the legal representative, or number of the business license.
We're receiving some questions, Ludmila. I would like just to check with you, because I think it's the right moment. Now, this is a website where we can check the status of one company. But is this a website that we can use for any company in China or not?
John, it's a very good question. I mean, taking into account the size of the China, the system of the Administration of Industry and Commerce Register is not centralized yet. So on these websites, which belongs to the central state administration of industry and commerce, you can find only a few very big companies and not all of them. Therefore, it's important what I mentioned when talking about the business license to know the address where the company has registered seat. Then you can check online websites of appropriate district level or the local level of the branch of the administration of industry and commerce.
So that means that there will be a website, for example, for companies in Shanghai.
Exactly. If your company or your partner is registered in Shanghai, then you will go for the Shanghai AIC or specifically district of Shanghai AIC.
Okay.
Same for the Chongqing, Shenzhen, or some other smaller cities. Now it's a little bit of time for the second poll, and the question is what makes the contract, but not only the contract, but other official documents legally binding. I must say that it's a little bit tricky question, so don't be confused. And if you are so kind and help.
Yes, so please, as we've done before, we would love to have your contribution. So just take your time. We were receiving some questions in the meantime, so maybe Ludmila can address some of them.
Okay.
There
is a question whether there is a blacklist of business companies that are illegal or have suspect business. Administration of Industry and Commerce has in previous years has launched such a list of the companies who are in the problem. So basically, yes, such list is available, and you may try to consult it. The administration who is responsible for that is State Administration of Industry and Commerce. If you need more specification regarding the district or the branches, please write to us. We will put you into the right direction. Of course, you have to take into account that the list is not complete. Yeah, so not every company which has a problem is listed, but there is such list. Now there is a question if the websites SAIC are only in Chinese or are translated. The websites, some of the informations are translated, but unfortunately not the information about the companies. So you have to have someone who can speak Chinese to help you with the check. But what we can do, and it's part of the services provided by USME Center, we can do it for you. Just send us through the inquiries Chinese name of your partner, and we can help you.
Excellent, Ludmila. Thank you for addressing these questions. I'm going to close now the poll and share the results with you. Let's see. So there we go. 56% believe that it's company job and signature of legal representative. What's your point of view, Ludmila?
I think that it's quite clear that you have experience with China. But as I said, the question and the replies to it are a little bit tricky. So in some cases, and in some circumstances, all of them can be true. But the most safe way is what more than half of you thinks: company chop and signature of the legal representative. If you insist on that and you check name of the legal representative, in some cases you may ask a copy of the ID card of the legal representative if you do not know the person from the personal contact, and compare it with the business license and the signature on the contract or signature on the document. For example, it is less common to ask signature of the legal representative on the business license. There will be company chop would be enough. Okay, thank you for your answers, and we move forward to the importance of the company chop, which is directly related to the question we had before. Company chop equals to the signature of, if I take the Europe as an example, as a reference, it equals to a signature of a person authorized to sign on behalf of the company. So in some cases, if signature of the legal representative is missing and the company chop is affixed only, it should be sufficient. But it shouldn't be okay if there is a signature of the legal representative without company chop. But as well, the company information on the chop has to be checked. So please check every single character on the chop. We have seen cases when one or two characters were different, and then the court, in case of the dispute, did not accept the litigation. So please be careful and check on this. Okay, then we move to what is available for the. There are some other special permits and licenses which you might be interested in, depending, of course, on your particular situation. If you are going to establish company or register representative office in China, you would need lease premises to conclude a lease contract. Please be interested in whether the office you are going to use are allowed to be rented for the commercial purpose. We have seen cases when a contract was concluded, company went to the local AIC for registration, and AIC refused to register because the premises were in the residential area. Then the company lost about 3 months and delayed the launch of their business, which is, of course, regrettable. When your intention, when your plans includes importing to China, please be aware that there are some rules more or less strict on the import to China. Some of the goods, for example, as the cosmetics, has to comply with the standards, but as well the importer has to obtain a special license for importing that. Opposite way, if you are exporting from China, you may ask for the special permit you may ask that the company, the manufacturer, has a special permit for manufacturing of the product. I can give example of some medical devices. As well, you might ask for the report from Quarantine and Commodity Inspection Bureau or from Certificate of Origin. As well, as I mentioned before, when you are going to distribute your goods, some type of products are subject to permit, e.g., for example, the food. Of course, the service providers, they can have special licenses, like for example lawyers or certified tax advisors. Here are the examples of some of the special permits and licenses. On the left side is land use right, and we have a property ownership. So I think that your Chinese partner would not be offended if you ask for such documents. Here is the copy of the special permit for the food distribution. Of course, that all permits and licenses are in Chinese language. It's official language in China, and there is no reason why it should be in different language. Now we leave the legal part and we focus on the financial status of the company. What is available? You may ask your partner to provide you with the creditworthiness letter. He will ask the company where he has accounts to issue the creditworthiness letter and provide it to you. If your relationship is good, you may ask the same for the shareholder. Capital verification letter, financial statements, and audit reports. Some of those documents can be asked at the local AIC, Administration of Industry and Commerce Bureau. Unfortunately, recently we have seen some cases where the branches, even they have to provide, for example, capital verification report. They were hesitating to provide it, but it may differ district by district, branch by branch. So it's worth it to try. I think I have mentioned it already before, but you cannot go yourself to the AIC. You have to hire a local lawyer to do that. It doesn't need to be an expensive law company. It can be a lawyer who has a Chinese certificate to practice law in China. Since 2008, People's Bank of China, Central Bank of China, introduced the Credit Reference Center, which is something like a credit bureau where companies and individuals having problems with paying their obligations are listed. You cannot ask the Credit Reference Center directly for the information from understandable reasons, but you may ask your partner to provide you with the certificate about its credit history from the center. A bank account and information on the bank account will provide you as well useful information. Please be careful again and check name, address, account, bank. They are the same as on the contract, same on the business license, same on the business card of the company you are negotiating with. Now we move to the part which we call operational, and it is almost same important as all other legal documents or creditworthiness letters. It really makes sense to come to China and visit your partner and meet him personally. Visit the company premises, go several times, and sometimes unannounced. There were cases, we have not seen it, we do not have experience in that, but we have read about it, that visits were arranged. And when the foreign partner or other partner, does not need to be foreign partner, came the day after, he could not find no employee on the site. So please be careful about that. Same means for the distribution network. If someone claims that has distribution network covering whole China, probably it's not true. There are only very few big companies who can have which can have such a network. During your visits, and not only during your visits, you may do it from your home as well. Talk with as many people as you can. Talk with the competitors and other business partners during the on-site visits. Talk to the employees and pay attention whether they understand their business. Now, if it's not only some game for you.
I know you've just, sorry for interrupting you, but I know you've mentioned that it is okay to ask all those questions, and just listening to you, there's such an amount of things to ask from them, and just pay even a visit and announce or check with the suppliers and competitors. Of course, this information is useful for us as exporters, but in China, from a cultural point of view, gathering all this information, is there something that may annoy or may put off a potential partner?
Yeah. I must say that most of the tools, most of the documents we have mentioned are nothing extraordinary, and Chinese companies exchange this type of information amongst themselves. For example, business license is very, very normal to ask. Same for the creditworthiness letter. Of course, it will be a little bit tricky with the financial statements, but again, it depends on your relationship. And what of course helps, and every time helps, if you offer the same. If you are polite and offer the same information about yourself.
Thank you, Ludmila.
Yeah, and I think that we are coming to the end of the presentation, where I would like to mention a few quick tips. Please don't be tempted to be engaged in the business too early. If it is too smooth, too fast, considerably cheap than market average, then there is something wrong in it. And better you don't engage, or better you check more carefully. Do notice, again, I'm talking about the bank account, because we already had quite a few cases when the bank account, name of the bank account was different than on the contract. Please check all the details are the same with the business license. What might be as well useful, check the website. I mean, of course, it's better if they are in English, but even if they are in Chinese, check when they were launched, how many visitors they had. If they have 30 visitors, then probably the company does not exist long. Have you been provided with the fixed phone line? That's of course better than when you have only the mobile, so for some contact person called Jamie. Try call few times, different hours. Try call to few times. How does look like your partner email address? Is it company address, or is it public domain address? It's Yahoo. Pay attention as well to the communication style, how the emails look like, what's the language, is it changing, is the contact person changing. All those small things may signify something irregular. So if you notice something like that, don't be tempted to say yourself, it's okay, it's China, they are different, they do not pay much attention to the contract, or other thing. It's not true. It's pretty standardized, and you don't need to go beyond the usual standards. So, as a conclusion of our today's seminar, I would like to make a summary again about the 5 steps of preliminary due diligence. Focus on the business license, ask for the copy. If you are in China, ask for the show you the original. Focus on the that the company job is affixed on the business license. Be interested whether the company needs other certificates or special permits. Check financial health of the company through the creditworthiness letter at least, and be interested in company or operation. Number of employees, size of the business, do they understand? Don't rush, and if you can afford it, and I think it makes sense, find and hire the trusted person on the spot, and as well it makes sense to have a local professional advice, lawyers, consulting companies.
Thank you very much, Ludmila. Good recommendations for all of us. As promised, we are going to have a session of questions and answers, and we have been receiving some questions. And if you don't mind, Ludmila will be asking them. We have a first question that has been repeated a couple of times, is that companies have been contacted by email by a Chinese company, just saying that they would like to ask as the agent in China. What's your advice? How should they proceed in those situations?
I would be really very much careful in such case. Cases where someone in Europe is contacted by European company or by Chinese company or by Chinese individual are quite a lot. So, I mean, as we mentioned during our webinar, ask for the business license, check the information on the business license, compare them through the compare them with the online AIC database. We can help with that, or you can ask your trusted person who can speak Chinese to verify that, and then continue with the communication. Maybe you can invite the person coming to Europe, which is a good option, but better you come to China and check on the spot what is the real situation, option he can provide you with.
Thank you, Ludmila. A quite specific one. Who can be the authorized person?
By authorized person, it means a person who has a power of attorney issued by the legal representative. It's the best way. So if you are said that I am authorized person to negotiate on behalf of the company and conclude the contract on behalf of the company, ask for the written power of attorney with the signature, or maybe sometimes even the job of the legal representative and job of the company. Then you can, again, on the power of attorney, compare and check the name, so you are sure that it is real document.
We have an interesting question. We were talking about possibility of visiting the distribution networks, and someone from our participants said that sometimes is not feasible, it's not possible. He was asking, is there any company that can do that job for us? Is there something that exists, those kind of services?
I would say that definitely they exist such companies who can do that, but they has to be hired by you, and usually you can find them under the consulting companies. In our the USME Center database, service providers database, we have a few consulting companies you can contact. I'm not currently. I'm not very much sure if they can provide provide a service you are asking, like checking the distribution channel, but some of them are quite big, so at least they can give you the direction where you can go.
Just another question. How can we verify that the bank account belongs to the company? Is there something that a bank will provide us if we ask for it?
The best way how to check that the bank account belongs to the company you are talking with is to ask for the creditworthiness letter, and then you will have probably the name of the contact person in the bank which you may contact. The person will be aware that provided such type of creditworthiness letter, so might be willing to provide you this information. You may as well ask business partners of your future Chinese partner to confirm such information.
Thank you very much. We have here another question about license for exporting body care products and how long will it take to get the approval. And maybe I'm wrong, Ludmila, but it looks to me that in order to actually gain approval by SFDA to export cosmetics, you need a Chinese agent that does the approval process for you, and that actually may take some months, depending on the products that are there. I see you nodding, so I guess I'm saying that's right.
I mean, that's correct, John, and probably you know better than myself because you are expert on standards and everything what is related to the importing and the special norms. Yeah, you are right.
That's a good opportunity for us to say that there is a lot of documents on our online portal that may give answers to those questions. And in this case in particular, there is a guidelines on the registration of cosmetics in China and how to gain those exports, that license. An interesting question here is coming from the audience because you were talking about websites, and we have a question coming from one of a participant saying, why is that big Chinese companies sometimes they don't have a website? Is that something that is normal here in China? What's your view on that?
In fact, I haven't met any big Chinese company not having websites in Chinese and English. So if the company does not have a website, I think there's probably something wrong. But
that would also be my experience. I think that maybe in my experience, most of the Chinese companies, they do have a website, whether it's easy to find it or not because they might be the name in Chinese. We have a question here on bank accounts. Is it for an entity, for a business legal entity, is it required to have a company corporate bank account, or can I operate with a personal bank account?
If you are dealing with a company, that the company has to have a company bank account. Of course, and we have seen such cases, the person probably you are negotiating with will tell you that he has company, but he does not have a company business account, and that it has only personal account, so you should wire all the money, better the 80% of the price in advance to her personal account, which is not true. Insist on the company bank account.
Thank you. Another one about cooperation. What if the cooperation has gone well with my company with my partner in China for a couple of years, and suddenly the company disappears and we cannot contact with them anymore? What's happening and what should we do?
Yeah, unfortunately it happens, especially recently, quite often. And the things might not be that the company wants to cheat you, or but it can be a reason that companies simply came to the financial problems and were shut down and disappeared. So again, first what you can do is check the business license and go to the AIC. Then you will find the information whether the company is in the liquidation, and there will be as well the name of the legal person. You may try to contact, and of course you can. I would say that the most information you will find from the AIC register database. Of course, you can hire a local law company which can do the search for you.
I like this question, Ludmila, and it's a tricky one, knowing how popular it is in China. But how reliable is a website like Alibaba or Made in China? What would be your take on that?
It's the thing. I'm a lawyer, so I would not recommend to trust information on the websites, on the public websites like Alibaba, and so if you have contact details from Alibaba or the others public internet websites, always compare them with the official databases, which is AIC register, and of course in combination with the others. What I would like to maybe stress, which I did not say at the beginning, that none of those 5 steps standing alone is not enough. You should combine more of them. The best, if all of them, then it's of course the best. There are available other tools as well, but we don't have enough time now to cover them. Maybe in the next webinars.
Well, thank you very much. And indeed, we are arriving to the end of the seminar. I know that maybe there are some questions coming. We will do our best to come back to you by email. And if, for whatever reason, you find that our answers have not replied fully to what you were looking for, just don't hesitate. Send us an email to inquiries@eusmecenter.cn.org, and we will come back to you within 7 days. I just want to, well, first of all, thank Ludmila for your time and for your insights and knowledge about doing preliminary due diligence with business partners. But most importantly, I want to thank you all for your participation and for your questions and your contributions. Please stay tuned, up to date with what's going on in China through our website in the USME Center. You can also follow us on either LinkedIn, Facebook, or in the Twitters, where we normally upload information about the latest information, documentation, or events that you may be interested in. Also, we will have regular webinars about issues in China. So please do not hesitate to send us email if there are elements that you would like us to cover more in depth. We will do our best, if there is enough audience and interest, to develop something tailor-made to what you're looking for. Having said that, once again, reiterating the thanks for your participation and your contributions. Thanks to Ludmila. Thanks for the team that was supporting us. And have a great day. See you in our next webinar. Bye-bye.